Today on MHK All Day, we cover some tips and tricks on saving money for spring break. And later we'll cover how those at St. Isidore's are participating in Lent, as well as how a K-State student is emerging in the music world. Welcome to MHK All Day. I'm Monica Diaz. Later in the show, we'll cover how one K-State student is using his artistic talent to design custom shoes. But first, we'll send it to News in 90 Seconds, covering the latest local and national news.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to News in 90. I'm Miriam Chamberlain. In the past few days, a total of 5 Kansas State University football players have been in trouble with the law. Over the weekend, redshirt freshman running back Jacardier Wright was arrested Sunday on an outstanding warrant for failing to show proof of insurance. On Saturday night, freshman linebacker DeMarquise Hayes and redshirt sophomore linebacker Nick Allen were both arrested in separate incidents of suspicion of driving under the influence. Just this past Monday, safety Wayne Jones and linebacker Daniel Green were arrested on a charge of possession of marijuana. The players both posted a bond of $1,000. Every day we learn more about how the coronavirus is affecting the world. So what protection measures can you take to avoid spreading the virus? First things first, we should not panic. The most important thing to do is wash your hands frequently. Cover your mouth and nose while sneezing or coughing, and avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth, and keep your hands away from your face. If you are sick, remember to stay at home. Greeting people with physical contact is also not a good idea right now. Lastly, to make sure you stay informed on the latest developments that may arise dealing with the virus. If you've heard the rumors of the return of Vine, I'm here to confirm that they're true. 2 years ago, Dom Hoffman, co-creator of Vine, have been working on building a successor to the short-form video platform. The new app, Byte, has now made its debut on iOS and Android. This app lets you shoot or upload and then share 6-second video. Social features such as Explore page, feed, notifications, and profiles are all included. The big question now would be whether Byte can take off despite its competing apps like TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and more. I guess we'll soon find out. That's your News in 90. I'm Miriam Chamberlain for MHK All Day.
Thank you, Miriam. If you have a getaway planned for spring break, here are a few ways you can save some money and stay in your traveling budget. Once you're to your destination, try to limit spending on souvenirs and focus on the experience. Taking photos is free. If you're of age, buy your alcohol ahead of time from a grocery store or a liquor store and avoid the marked up drinks available at the resorts and other vacation spots. Also, plan to pack some snacks to bring with you when you hit the beach to cut down your dollar spending overall on food. If you get back from your vacation and find you're still having trouble with finances, reach out to PowerCat Financial to create a budget plan.
So PowerCat Financial is a free student service we have here at K-State. Students can create appointments with us and we can go through budgeting, credit. We also help them with student loans and even evaluating job offers. So we do cover quite a variety of topics, which is really nice because it's all free to the students, whereas like our services after graduation would be a lot more expensive.
Due to growing concerns of the spread of the coronavirus, Kansas State University changed its travel policy Thursday, March 5th. The university instituted a ban on faculty-led and university-sponsored trips to countries that have a CDC warning level 3 or a U.S. State Department level 4 travel advisory. Those countries include Italy, South Korea, China, and Iran. It is unclear how long the ban will last. Personal travel is allowed, but not recommended to those countries. Along with prepping for spring break starting tomorrow, many students will be heading out of town. Those choosing to travel by car may need to think twice before they head out. Reporter Dawson Wagner is live at Lewis's Auto Repair Shop to fill us in on what to look for on your vehicle before hitting the road. Dawson?
Thanks, Monica. I'm here on the southeast side of Manhattan right now, currently at Lewis's Auto Shop, where I'm getting my Nissan Altima checked out for the trip I'm going to be making to Colorado tomorrow. I'm going to be asking Lewis over here a few questions. So Lewis, if you're going to be doing a multi-point inspection here, and like to tell us a little bit about what to kind of expect on a trip and what we should be aware of when we're going to hit the road.
The first thing you need to check is just visually check the tires for tread. Check the air pressure if you have low tire. The fluids are a necessity. Lights. There's not a lot underneath of a car that a customer is actually going to look at, but you know, we'll go through underneath and see what we got.
Yeah, if you'd like to go through and go ahead and show me what exactly you specifically point out whenever you go through, and the most common thing that you see usually when we have inspections like this for the multi-point, what's the most common occurrence that you see that drivers mistake most when not hitting the road?
More than likely brakes and tires, damaged parts that like they're not going to be able to see, like sway bar links. They if they break, it causes everything to bang. You can actually, even without taking the wheels off, you can see what you have for brakes. You can see right in there from this angle.
All right.
You still have probably 50% left on your rear brakes.
Okay, perfect. So that means probably when I'm going to be going through the mountains and different things like that, then my brakes will be fine for the next year or so. Is that about how long it lasts with 50%?
Most brakes will actually last you 60 to 75,000 miles.
Oh, wow.
So at 50%, you probably have 42,000 left.
42,000?
Yeah.
Well, great. Awesome. Well, if that's the biggest thing that we specifically want to look out for, then I'll just make sure when I hit the road tomorrow to go easy on the brakes and things like that. But for our time right now, it seems like we need to wrap things up real quick just because we're wanting to make sure to hit the road tomorrow as well as we're going to have the rest of the show. So thank you so much, Lewis, for coming here. And, well, I'm glad that we got to check out your shop, and I wish you the best with the rest of your break. And so safe travels, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Dawson. I think it's important that everyone gets their car checked before they do any traveling. Whether it be an oil change, airing your tires, or a full tank of gas, make sure to check your car before you make any road trips. Coming up next after the break, we have Arts with Alan as he showcases how one student uses his artistic abilities to design custom shoes. We'll take a look at what some Manhattan residents are giving up for Lent and a look into the youth rowing community here in Manhattan.
The limestone embedded in our history is the foundation of who we have become and what we can become tomorrow. We find inspiration in the past, new possibilities in our present, and anticipation for tomorrow's journey. Yesterday's triumphs are today's proud traditions, a transformation where a hall becomes a home, students become family, and research becomes reality. How do we build upon K-State's strong foundation? Innovation, collaboration, you.
Your identity is who you are.
Feels pretty good. Hurts a little bit when I'm putting pressure on it, but not too bad.
What's your pain level at?
Probably like a 3.
Okay, cool. So much better than yesterday.
Yeah, a lot better.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start to slow it down now.
Okay.
In taking the classes and in being in industry, a lot of the classes were super applicable to going out in the industry. So it's things that are actually being taught in the real world and what are needed in the real world. There were a number of classes that you could take exactly what you learned and walk into a job and say, I've done this, and this is exactly how they're doing it, and the company should feel comfortable that you know what you're talking about. It's really tangible to what you're going to do once you graduate. So that's been the best part, I'd say.
The best-kept secret in Manhattan is not a secret anymore. I'm Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Wildcats, and welcome to JP's Sports Grill. With daily chef-inspired specials, a full bar, and a diverse menu that has something for everyone, this place is guaranteed to impress. JP Sports Grill, your new favorite spot.
Welcome back to MHK All Day. Easter is just around the corner, and that means many Christians are currently participating in Lent. MHK All Day reporter Angela Sawyer learns more about this religious practice.
The Lent season began last week on what is referred to as Ash Wednesday.
The 40-day season is a time of prayer and reflection for Catholics all over the world. And for local K-State students in Manhattan, St. Isidore is a place to go for prayer and reflection.
Over the 40 days, Catholics and those participating in Lent sacrifice something of their choosing, whether it be food or social media, among many other things. Gail Hammerschmidt, father at St. Isidore's, helps to further explain the history of Lent.
the tradition goes back that the season of Lent has existed since the very first Easter, when the apostles who would have been there to witness Jesus' resurrection started to celebrate on a yearly basis his resurrection. They always prepared for that celebration by a time of fasting or penance prior.
For many participating, the focus of Lent is heavenly comforts instead of earthly. Carson Duggan, a sophomore in kinesiology at Kansas State University, explains why Lent is important to him.
Lent to me is important because of Christ was able to give everything for us. He was able to give his entire life for us. And we spend so much time being distracted by things in this world, being comforted by things in this world. And for me, this year I determined that was coffee. So I think it's only fitting we can give up one little thing for just a short amount of 40 days in order to try to grow closer to him.
Grace Leonard, a junior in secondary education, explains why she gave up French fries.
This year I gave up multiple things, but mainly French fries. It seems kind of silly, but it's something that I go to like after a long day or when I'm tired or stressed, and I recognized that it was something that was like kind of taking the place of God in my life, you know. Instead of going to him with struggles or stress or whatever, I was like, you need French fries. So that was the main thing that I gave up.
As of Friday, March the 6th, there are 30 days left of Lent, excluding Sundays. In Manhattan, I'm Angela Sawyer, MHK All Day.
During the Lent season, St. Isidore sees more people attending Mass than usual. Lent will officially end on the day referred to as Holy Saturday. With custom shoes being one of the most trendy industries these days, reporter Alan Garrett went to see how the process is done with custom shoe artist Thomas Meek.
Welcome to this week's episode of Arts with Alan. Today I have the one and only Thomas Meeks of Brainstorm Customs. As you can see, this is what he does. So how you doing today, Thomas?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for agreeing to do this. It's an honor, man. I see the work that you've put in, but where did it all start for you?
It probably started about 6 or 7 years ago, kind of when Instagram started getting popular. I'd see pictures of different people doing custom shoes on Vans or different Nikes, and I thought, you know what? I could do that.
Okay.
And then there's a guy called MHK Customs, and he's the first guy that I ever saw actually kind of make a business out of it.
Okay.
So that's kind of what got me inspired.
Okay.
Just trying to be creative.
Okay, now I see. I like that. All right, so can you break down the process for us?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right, so let's get to.
It's just getting the shoe ready. So I always take out the laces just so they don't get in the way. Because especially if they've been worn, you want to make sure that you got a clean surface to work on. So I mix a little bit of shoe cleaner with some water, just scrub it down. If I kind of clean it like that, I'll just wipe it down, make sure it's dry. And then another acetone is kind of a heavy duty finish remover, so it'll take off the factory finish of the shoe. So I like to just get a Q-tip wet and kind of wipe down the surface a couple different times. So this just makes sure that the paint will have a good chance of sticking to the letters. I'll use a pencil just to kind of get a little bit of an idea of what I might have it actually look like. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just so I get an idea, so I know exactly what size. Get my paint. I use Angelus paint. It's made specifically for shoes, so it sticks on the shoes really well, and then it's water resistant, so once it's on the shoes, it stays on pretty well for a long time. So another thing I do, especially if the paint's taking a little bit of time to dry, I have this heat gun. It's nothing fancy, I just bought it off Amazon, but I'll turn this on and just kind of go over it for a little bit, let it heat up and dry. Sure. So this is a matte finish, so it's going to be a little flatter, it's not going to be too shiny, and this will put a sealer over the paint, so it'll help protect it from any sort of weather or wear with the finisher. So we'll let that dry, we will put the laces back in, and then we'll be done.
From Manhattan, Kansas, I'm Alan Garrett, MHK All Day.
For more information on these custom shoes, follow Meek's shoe page on Instagram at Brainstorm Customs. Stay with us as we look into the power of yoga and find out what team took to the water this week.
The limestone embedded in our history is the foundation of who we have become and what we can become tomorrow. We find inspiration in the past, new possibilities in our present, and anticipation for tomorrow's journey. Yesterday's triumphs are today's proud traditions, a transformation where a hall becomes a home, students become family, and research becomes reality. How do we build upon K-State's strong foundation? Innovation, collaboration, you.
Your identity is who you are.
Feels pretty good. Hurts a little bit when I'm putting pressure on it, but not too bad.
What's your pain level at?
Probably like a 3.
Okay, cool. So much better than yesterday.
Yeah, a lot better.
All right. Well, I'm going to start to slow it down now.
Okay.
In taking the classes and in being in industry, a lot of the classes were super applicable to going out in the industry. So it's things that are actually being taught in the real world and what are needed in the real world. There were a number of classes that you could take exactly what you learned and walk into a job and say, I've done this and this is exactly how they're doing it, and the company should feel comfortable that you know what you're talking about. It's really tangible to what you're going to do once you graduate. So that's been the best part, I'd say.
The best kept secret in Manhattan is not a secret anymore. I'm Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Wildcats, and welcome to JP's Sports Grill. With daily chef-inspired specials, a full bar, and a diverse menu that has something for everyone, this place is guaranteed to impress. JP Sports Grill, your new favorite spot.
Welcome back to MHK All Day. Let's head over to Daisy for sports to hear more about the power of yoga and rowing for young people here in Manhattan.
Thanks, Monica. Today in sports, we've got 2 things that would make me sore for a few weeks: hot yoga and rowing. That's right, Orange Sky Yoga has a class that keeps their thermostat at 99 degrees. Most people work out to keep their body in shape, but several people use this workout to find deep relaxation. MHK All Day reporter Amelia Andrews heads down to Aggieville to experience this special type of yoga.
I'm at Orange Sky Yoga located in Aggieville, about to do a heated power yoga class. Now, I've never done this kind of yoga before, but I heard it's definitely the place to get your sweat on.
Orange Sky Yoga consists of 2 studios where they hold yoga, spin, and bar classes. Brooklyn Burnett, a member of the studio, has been attending yoga classes for the last couple of months after suffering from back problems.
I have back problems and stuff like that, so it really does help me in flexibility and stuff, and I think yoga really helps you as a student kind of slow down. And
I decided to jump in on a heated power yoga class to see what all the hype was about. Being new to the yoga community, I was the only yogi wearing socks during the class. Yoga instructor Casey Zip says that she got into yoga after taking a course in college for credit and started to adapt to the healthy lifestyle it influences.
But it turned out to completely change my life. So I kind of immersed myself just in the whole yoga lifestyle, eating really healthy, practicing meditation, going to yoga at least 3 times a week.
During the hot yoga class, the studio was heated to 99 degrees with 2 space heaters warming up the room. We held a series of poses focusing on breathing and then finished the class off with Shavasana. Shavasana, also referred to as the final resting pose, requires people to lie on their backs with their arms and legs at a 45-degree angle and have their eyes closed. It uses sensory stimulation and helps minimize external distractions and bring the body to a relaxed state. It's a great way to calm the mind, reduce stress and fatigue, lower blood pressure, relieve headache pain, and improve sleep.
I think it teaches you to just slow down. Especially in today's world, we are just constantly moving, constantly thinking about what to do next and where we're going, where we're heading, what our future looks like. And very rarely do we ever just sit and pause and breathe and kind of focus on what's going on right now in this moment.
Yoga is a great form of exercise that improves strength and flexibility and helps with stress reduction. Hot yoga does all that while giving your heart, lungs, muscles, an even more intense workout. In Manhattan, Kansas, I'm Amelia Andrews, MHK All Day.
Just watching that story made me break a sweat. If you're interested in heated power yoga, they have a variety of times and classes. Their schedule can be found on orangeskyyoga.com. Another thing warming up this weather, with temperatures rising, outdoor sports are getting started, including a rowing team for high schoolers right here in Manhattan. MHK All Day reporter Anna Christensen took to the water to find out more about the sport.
Cutting through the water on a sunny afternoon on Tuttle Creek Lake just north of town is Manhattan Junior Crew. They are a tight-knit group of young rowers working hard to start their season strong.
It's a team sport and it's really like you need to trust everybody.
It's definitely team atmosphere. I came in like not knowing anyone. It was all high schoolers. I felt really on the outside, but like as slowly as the season went on, like I felt really a part of the team, and it's just a really good bonding group. Like it's a good group. And then of course the sport makes you feel strong and feel like you're doing hard work.
This is the first week of outdoor season, so returning rowers are getting to get back out on the water, and newbies are finally getting to learn the ropes of outdoor rowing.
When I first started, my technique was not great, and then I put so much effort in it and to like try really hard to get my technique good and that I get stronger.
It's really cool, especially when you do like a test at the beginning of the year to see where you're at, and then you do one at the end of the year and see how much you've improved. If you improve slowly and the boats come together.
After just 1 week of outdoor practice here in Manhattan, the team is taking a trip to Waco, Texas for an intensive spring break training trip where they'll pack 3 weeks worth of practice into just 1 week.
I'm in the competition team, so this means that I have 5 times a week practice for like almost 2 hours. And we have on the spring break trip, we have almost 6 hours per day practice, so like a morning session and an evening session.
All that training is leading to competition season, which is coming up in just 2 weeks with a regatta or race in Oklahoma City.
It's always fun when there's someone right there with you. But if someone's just as powerful and just as good as you, that's when it becomes fun, because then you can really push yourself to go harder.
Their competitions are a chance to put all their practice to the test and find out how they stack up against other rowers in the area.
Get to travel around with our team, just hang out with them all day until you get to your race. You do the race, your team's cheering for you, then you hang out a little bit more and cheer for somebody else.
The spring season will eventually culminate with the U.S. Rowing Regional Championship in Oklahoma City in May, and if things go well, Youth Nationals in June. In Manhattan, I'm Anna Christensen, MHK All Day.
Manhattan Junior Crew is just at the beginning of their brand new season. Stay tuned throughout the spring to see how they do. That's all I've got for sports this week. Back to you, Monica.
Thanks, Stacey. We'll be back after the break with a look into how one student created a following on SoundCloud, as well as plans for the weekend.
The limestone embedded in our history is the foundation of who we have become and what we can become tomorrow. We find inspiration in the past, new possibilities in our present, and anticipation for tomorrow's journey. Yesterday's triumphs are today's proud traditions, a transformation where a hall becomes a home, students become family, and research becomes reality. How do we build upon K-State's strong foundation? Innovation, collaboration, you.
Your identity is who you are.
Feels pretty good. Hurts a little bit when I'm putting pressure on it, but not too bad.
What's your pain level at?
Probably like a 3.
Okay, cool. So much better than yesterday.
Yeah, a lot better.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start to slow it down now.
Okay.
In taking the classes and in being in industry, a lot of the classes were super applicable to going out in the industry. So it's things that are actually being taught in the real world and what are needed in the real world. There were a number of classes that you could take exactly what you learned and walk into a job and say, I've done this, and this is exactly how they're doing it, and the company should feel comfortable that you know what you're talking about. It's really tangible to what you're going to do once you graduate. So that's been the best part, I'd say.
The best kept secret in Manhattan is not a secret anymore. I'm Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Wildcats, and welcome to JP Sports Grill. With daily chef-inspired specials, a full bar, and a diverse menu that has something for everyone, this place is guaranteed to impress. JP Sports Grill, your new favorite spot.
Welcome back to MHK All Day. Many students come to K-State to prepare for their future careers. Ben Chavarin is no exception. When he came to K-State, he found a way to turn his love for playing the guitar into quite the side hustle.
When Ben Chavarin was 12 years old, he was just learning how to play the guitar because it was something his brothers and his dad enjoyed. Now, a student at K-State, his music hobby has flourished into something bigger than he ever anticipated. Just last month, he released his 5th single.
I have been very lucky to be connected with some artists online, as well as a label in Chicago called Simplify, who've helped me get on these label releases, which has been really cool. That's why there's actually people listening to those things. It's super, super fun. I'm so lucky to be able to have that opportunity.
He's pretty new to all the work that goes into producing music, and he says he's excited to keep learning. For right now, he said he's pretty content to be making music in his apartment, even if it is in his closet.
It took me like 2 years to have any sort of semblance of skill with it, but I finally got to the point where I can record stuff and make stuff on my own.
Music isn't the only thing on his mind. In less than a year, he will be graduating, but he says he's not rushing towards a job in the music industry.
I want to get a job out of college. I want to do the stereotypical get a job, start working there for a while, start making money, and at that point, hopefully I'll be to the level where I can start releasing on a regular basis, professionally recorded, written, stuff like that. I don't have currently the ability to do it full time.
Whether or not he ends up with a big-time music career, he says he always wants to make music.
The whole point of all of this is I want to help people connect with each other, and I want to help people process dramatic emotional events in their life. So if my music can do that, I've succeeded.
While the music industry isn't for everyone, he has some advice for others interested in making music.
Because you can make music by yourself and for yourself, or just for your friends. But if you want to do it for everyone, it's probably going to look a little different. And once you've decided that it is or it isn't, you can go forward from there and be like, okay, I'm really serious about this. I want to spend a lot of late nights learning how to, watching YouTube tutorials and learning how to produce in my program or stuff like that.
From Manhattan, I'm Kaylee McLaughlin for MHK All Day.
Seco Park is going to be holding another farmers market tomorrow from 9 to 1. Iowa State will play the men's K-State basketball team in Bramlage this Saturday, and another Sunflower Showdown for the women's basketball team is going to be Sunday at 2. That's all we have today. We'll see you next time and have a wonderful spring break.